Hello and welcome back to the Break-Thru Active podcast. We've got a little bit of a different one here today. I've got one of our fantastic members, Lesley, with me. So welcome, Lesley.
Hi.
Thank you for taking the time to come on and have a little bit of a chat. We've done a few of these in the past with our members and haven't done one for a little while, so I'm glad we had time to organise this. But in short, just wanting to get to know you a little bit better. I already know quite a bit about you, but want you to share your story with some of the other members who'd be listening, and then just want to talk a little bit more about your time with us so far. So,
Yep.
first of all, have you always been in Newcastle, or did you grow up somewhere else?
No. My parents separated, so I moved around a fair bit. Probably from high school age, I was in Newcastle.
Cool.
And then I met and married my husband, and we moved out to Cessnock. And then we busted a few years ago, and I moved back to Newcastle.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Where did you grow up originally? Where were you raised?
Maitland mainly.
Oh, okay. Good old Maitland. Did
Yes.
you spend a few nights at the Belmore when you were a bit younger?
No, actually, no. I was in Newcastle by then.
Oh, by that age?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And then out to sunny Cessnock for a little while.
Yeah, if you can call it sunny.
And I will digress a little bit here, but that's from memory when you were first exposed to us. Is that right?
Yes, yes. So I trained with at Genesis, and I had a PT there. But I worked for Icebox Liquor, and a lot of their managers went to you guys when you started at Curry. And you were quite popular. I'd drive through there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and there'd be sessions and people running, and I'd think, how tough, how mean, making you run in public.
And now, a
So
few years on, you're the one going up and down the street.
not in public, thank goodness. I do it early hours when people are still asleep.
It's funny how people come to end up with us, and often it is through referrals and word of mouth and things like that. But I remember you saying that you'd listen to our podcast, I think, and you were a few other people. So it's cool.
So I'd been training with Luke for a couple of years, and he'd moved from Genesis into his own backyard, and but it was getting a little bit expensive, and the trip backwards and forwards was getting hard. But the biggest thing I struggled with was I was just training on my own with him. And none of you have noticed, I'm quite a sociable person.
I haven't noticed.
And
that's complete news to me.
And I went and you know how Facebook listens to you chatting. Up came, I think late last year, gyms with over 40s, and you guys were the main one that kept popping up. And I thought, oh, I'll check you out. And then because we were in a lockdown at that stage, I listened to your podcasts. And when I realized and connected the dots that you were the guys back in Curry and how popular you were, I thought, oh, well, I'll give you a go and see how it goes. And I haven't looked back. So
cool. Yeah. And I'll just touch on the social aspect a bit. I don't know how you manage to talk and work out at the same time, but somehow you do manage to multitask both of those things. But it is great for that. And personal training is fantastic. I used to be a one-on-one trainer, and I think that there's definitely people who prefer that. But we hear that quite often where people like being around other people, and it's almost as much of a social thing as it is a fitness thing.
Yes.
And
I think when you find it harder to go, and I mean, there are people who love this stuff and this is their life, and then there's others who we have to do it in order to keep fit and not go down a horrible track, and you have to make it the best of, and a reason to get up and go. And the reason I get up and go every morning is to see you guys and the people in my classes. So
yeah, that's really cool. And I think that's a really good distinction to make. And for people who haven't really been around exercise and training for a long time or for their whole life, it isn't something that happens really easily and really naturally. you got some people, and that's when I speak to people, I say, you got some people who go to the gym and they put their headphones in and they can, do that, and that's their happy place. And, kudos to them for being able to do it. But where we've, I guess, done well in our time since we've started training in the groups is for people like yourself who it hasn't always been a huge part of your life. You've always wanted to make change and sort of found that mixing the training with the social element of it is just a bit of an added reason to come. And you've started to form friendships with the other members and obviously the other trainers. And especially at the moment, we're in the midst of winter and it's bloody cold in the morning, and having a little bit of extra motivation to get in, I think, is always
well, fantastic. Last winter I would never have bothered. Wouldn't have bothered. I would have just gone, nah, I'll just skip winter and I'll go back in spring when it starts to warm up.
And you've started with us at the beginning of this year, so you've got some really good momentum behind you. We're sort of in that probably 6th month or so.
Yes.
And if you were to be starting now, it might be a bit more challenging, but definitely in your situation, having had, the last few months to really find your feet and really find that consistency, it's been fantastic so far, and it's been great to see you continue with that consistency and regular training going into these cooler months. And that's what I'll often say to people when, we're having a bit of a laugh at how cold it is. I'll say, well, wait till October or November when it's 20 degrees in the morning, and it'll feel easy compared to these days. But no, that's awesome. So for yourself, what do you like to do outside of the gym? Do you have any other hobbies?
Yeah, I'm a scrapbooker. So if you're not sure what that is, I make albums and make my photos look pretty and do different art.
I remember that being a little, I wouldn't say, maybe in school and things we used to do scrapbooking. Tell me a bit more about how that will come about. Like, what's the first thing you do to start scrapbooking?
So pretty much you get a page, work out what you want to design on that page, put your photos on, and I should have got some examples, but it's just, I guess, a normal regular photo album. But instead of just pictures, you have a story. So if we did one on, I guess, our walk when we went to Glenrock, I'd have photos of us on Glenrock. I'd probably make the scenery like the green and the trees and stuff, and then you note take on it. So you write your story about what happened on that day. I guess it's about keeping memories alive, and then hopefully my grandkids will go through them and read them and know a lot about me, even though I'm not there.
Yeah, that's really nice. I think now with social media, it's so easy just for people not to have any hard copies of anything.
Yes.
The photos and things like that. And that's where I don't have anything like that, but I think, one day I'll have my kids and grandkids look through my Facebook page from a million years ago and see me doing all these videos and everything. But that's really cool. I like that. And I think it's something that, you probably can look back at that and almost forget about some of the things you've done and be like, oh God, I forgot about doing that.
So, cool. No, it's quite a fun thing. Takes a few hours. I do camps on it. Like, we go away for weekends and that's all we do. No husbands, no kids, no nothing.
Just scrapbooking. Very good. Cool. All right. Well, apart from that, I mean, obviously you found you're a happy place here at the gym somewhat. Some days, depending on what the workout is. What made you want to sort of start things again this year? Because I remember you saying you'd had a bit of a layoff. So what made you want to kick off again at the start of this year?
I think my biggest thing is my health. I'd hit 135 kilos. I have a herniated disc from being a courier back in the day. And for probably 2 or 3 years, that really flared. And that was the biggest decision to move back to Newcastle, because I was working in Newcastle and I couldn't do the drive. And what the herniated disc is, it pushes on your actual nerves, and it cuts my spine. So pretty much it goes out and I can't walk. Like I physically have to just lay there. And I was being hospitalized for it. And I didn't want that lifestyle. So, so I'd been training with Luke, and it was helping with my strength. But it just, I couldn't go up in because of the cost and the travel. So I needed to find somewhere here local. And I need to make things a habit in order for me to make them, achievable. I have to make it like cleaning my teeth, because I'm one of those people that you'd never get me there otherwise if I don't make it a habit. And but I've also changed my way of thinking. Like for years it was all about weight loss, and the scale's not moving and you get disheartened by that. Whereas I focus now on things in my sessions. So I started out, I could row 200 meters in a minute and a half. I've got that down to 45 seconds. I can get on that damn bike and do a minute, and not keel over in a heart attack. The girls have seen me. I now finish the workouts, and lately I still have a minute and a half to spare. It's only a minute and a half, but for me, that's huge. So you have to change, I think, your way of thinking, because I think, and I was a big one for trying to prove my trainer wrong, that I could out-train a bad diet and I could do this and I could prove him wrong, but you can't. And you have to, and I think weight loss comes if you focus on the other stuff. And, so
you're spot on.
I just, had to concede and go, you guys actually do know what you're talking about. Fancy that. And and since changing the way I think, but yeah, the biggest thing is the social stuff outside.
I think you really hit the nail on the head there with weight loss, and I think that's a conversation that is really important, even if people are wanting to lose weight. I think sometimes if you focus too much on that, you can start to obsess over numbers and over that a little bit too much, to the point where you forget what you're actually wanting to lose weight for.
Yes.
Whereas what my advice is for people that are wanting to lose weight, I'll say, okay, that's great. You want to lose X amount of kilos. Let's focus on the training and let's focus on eating a little bit better. And as a product of that, the weight will take care of itself. And I, just like you said, focusing on the workout and the performance. So, lifting a little bit more weight, doing that workout a little bit faster, being able to do that exercise that you didn't used to be able to do. I think looking at progress along the way with those sorts of things is going to be a lot more healthy for your mindset. And then if you lose weight with that, that's an absolute bonus. If your weight's being a little bit stubborn, at least you're able to see progress in other parts of the health and fitness as well. And that's going to encourage you to want to continue. And like you were saying about habit, I think that's really important too. We always start new people with a bit of like a 4 or a 6 week program to see if it's something that they enjoy. But by no means are we ever saying, hey, you're going to achieve all your wildest, hopes and dreams in a 4 week period. And I think that's where sometimes when people get started in a certain challenge or something, they have that short-term mindset and think, I'm going to smash it for a month. And then after that month, they've lost interest or they just get over it. Whereas like what you mentioned, it needs to be part of your lifestyle and just a habit. And for yourself, you've done a fantastic job with that the last 5 or 6 months in developing that habit and making an absolute regular thing there in the mornings. And you're definitely part of that morning crew, part of the woodwork. And it's been fantastic just to see you take to it so well and have a lot of fun along the way. So it's I will pull it up here, Lesley, because otherwise I think we could end up chatting all afternoon if we got carried away. But just wanted just wanted to end it by saying that, yeah, I'm really proud of all your progress so far. You've been doing a great job within the sessions, like we were just discussing. Your consistency has been really great, and really looking forward to seeing you continue on with us and being a part of everything moving forward.
Thanks, Mitch.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on, Lesley, and thanks to everyone for listening, and we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Thanks. Bye.